Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. And today, since we did a carrot cake the other day, this is just this one's a really easy one actually, more of a savoury snack, but they're so tasty. Honestly, the only warning I need to put out there is you can finish the plate yourself. If you like these ingredients, of course, they are cheese, tomato and bacon puff pastry wraps. Really easy to do, really tasty. So you'll want your bacon. Don't be afraid of buying ready rolled puff pastry. It's a mare to make and it's cheap and it's really good to just buy from the stores. So don't be ashamed of doing that. And this stretch will do you 6, which in the UK anyway, most of our bacon comes in pack of 6. So well handy. You can use any bacon you like, you can use any tomatoes you like, you can use any cheese you like. We'll also have an egg, beaten, ready to glaze. I've got, voila, cocktail tomatoes. They're so tasty. I absolutely love a tomato. And these rocked up in the shop the other day. I slapped some of these last week, and oh my days. And same for this, I do quite like the mix of Emmental and Gouda. Everyone will have a different pronunciation on that. That's how I pronounce it. So what we're going to do first is we've stuck the oven on. That's 220 Celsius. And I've got a baking tray over there already. What's also really handy about the pre-rolled stuff is you don't need to get flour out, you don't need to get a rolling pin out. And it comes on a piece of grease-proof paper already, which I don't tend to put in the oven. I've got a decent tray, thankfully enough, but you can work straight off that. So first things first, we're going to do a bit of prepping. So we're going to chop a load of tomatoes, because I'm going to make 12 of these bad boys today. Because I'm going to eat God knows how many. I've got to leave a few at least for my other half for his lunch tomorrow. And my mother-in-law's popping around and I'd really like her to try one. So I've at least got to leave. I can only eat 6 max. Let's put it like that. I've got to be fair here. Though I'm not lying when I tell you I could quite happily polish off the lot. Right. And again, you can chop these however you like. I quite like chopping them. I used to always chop tomatoes that way, but now I quite like chopping them this way. So I'm going to get a load of chopping done and then we'll fast forward. And you can cut them as chunky or as thin as you like. I've also used cherry tomatoes for this because, like I say, I absolutely love tomatoes, especially cherry tomatoes. Though these are proving a really good rival for the old cherry tomato. And yeah, cut them as thin or as thick as you like. I have to go midway because I'd have them perhaps in there in halves. But my other half's not quite the chunky guy when it comes to this stuff. So I've got to do a bit of a middle ground. And plus I'd put way more tomatoes in than I do if I was making them just for me. I put about 3 to 4 slices of these in one. The cherry tomatoes tend to be perhaps 5 or 6, depending on how big they are. Right, tomato chopping done. So we're just going to slip them up there for now. And we are going to get one of our rolls of puff pastry out. Now, again, going with this being available in the UK, you can cut this into 6. And it doesn't matter if they're not perfect. You can measure them out if you want to. They'll be roughly 12 centimetres squared. Roughly. We're just going to space them out a touch. Drag that right up there. There we go. Now, what we're going to do first is get some cheese out. Again, I've gone with these pre-sliced just because they're easy and they're tasty. But pop whatever cheese you like in. This is how I tend to do it. I put a nice cheese, half a cheese slice diagonally across each of my puff squares. We'll mix them up. Because I like the combination of Gouda and Emmental because they both melt slightly differently. Gouda goes quite stringy and Emmental gets a bit of a crisp. Now we will because I'm going to be touching the raw bacon in a moment and I want that to be the last thing that I touch. We will pre-prep a few slices because we're going to put tomato down next, then bacon, then a square of cheese between the bacon and the fold, and then a square of cheese over the fold at the top before we stick them in the oven. And these are really quick. They only take about 12 minutes, but you'll want to keep your eye on them from the 10 mark onwards. Because they don't take long at all. You want them till they're just about golden brown. They'll puff up a little bit and go a touch golden. That's the point where you're at the win. I think one more. So we'll want 12. Well, for this first batch anyway. I will wash my hands and get the second batch. And I'll do those off camera. This is just so you can see. So, let's get these out ready so I don't have to touch that again. Now we're going to go with the tomatoes and place them over the top of the cheese, also diagonal. Cut some of these rather chunky. I'll have to make sure I get those ones. Some of them very chunky. I'll definitely have to make sure I get those ones. Perhaps this first batch is mine after all, and then the next batch is for everyone else to share. We'll say that was my intent. Right. And then next, the bacon. I've gone for smoked bacon because I love smoked bacon, and thankfully so does my other half. This can be washed. Let's put that over there so I don't forget that it's been by the bacon. Move that out of the way for a second so I don't want to cross it over. Ah, yes. Now what I'd normally do is I'd put them slice, 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 slice for me. My other half prefers it if they're cut. So I'm just going to cut this bacon quickly. Okay, we've cut the bacon. So, like I say, what you can do yourselves is literally just put the slice on as is. Well, some of these cuts are a bit skimpy, aren't they? Like I say, my other half prefers it. That's quite a fat piece. If it's all sliced up, so it's just easier to eat. So, and since I'm doing them for not just me, I have to take others into consideration. And it is easier to eat. It's just, it adds a layer of faff that you don't necessarily need if you're happy to just bite into it. So we'll use up some of these little diddy pieces where there's a little skimpy edge. And that's quite a big piece. Maybe we'll stick that on you. Right. Now, cheese. Little square right in the middle there. Well, at least that's how I'm doing it. Well, like I say, you feel free to mix it up. Now we're going to start folding these over. So it's literally bring one corner to the middle, slap a bit of your egg wash on there, and cross it over. Oh, I sort of pinch that edge a little bit too eagerly. And then what we'll do in a second is give the whole thing a wash with the egg. And then put our final piece of cheese on. And then stick them in the oven. Right. Wash completely over, bacon and all. You are being naughty and not sticking. Stick. You haven't got to be too finessey with this. Then last bit of cheese. Right, good thing that's all being used to go on bacon anyway. That is them. So I'm going to pop these in the oven. Like I say, 220 Celsius, no fan, for about 12 minutes, but keep an eye on them from 10. So I'm going to get these baked off, get the next lot put together, and then when we come back, we'll have some nice tasty treats to bite into. Right, we're back and we're out of the oven. Look at this plate of tasty. You'll see now why these are so easy to eat. I mean, this is just a snack plate for me as far as I'm concerned. I've still got two more batch, well, one batch in the oven, one more batch to go in. But yeah, just wanted to show you the finished result. And now I'm going to set up the camera so I can have a nice taste and show you all just how tasty these are. And they have cooled enough that I will be able to just plough in. So that's what we're going to do right now. Hello, Just Jax here, and we have finished baking our delightful cheese, tomato and bacon puff pastry wraps. I think we can just about see that there. So I'm about to enjoy this and get in a mess. That's so fun. That was a much bigger bite than I intended to have. But, oh my days. And there is pastry everywhere. That is so, so tasty. I hope if you've made some of these yourself, you're doing what I'm doing right now and really enjoying them. Yeah. Before, and there is pastry everywhere. Before I polish that off completely, which I'm about to do, and I have a cup of tea waiting, I'd like to thank you all for stopping by and checking me and my channel out. I do hope you've enjoyed this. The baking videos will be sporadic. They'll just be every now and again. I'm an art channel after all, but I do love food. And if you love seeing me make food and eat food, then by all means, I'm more than happy to share that with you all. So like if you like what you see, comment if you've got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more and know when it's coming. Thank you all again so much. Take care and see you in the next one.